Now on daybreak, strong winds and heavy downpours tear through West Michigan, putting several areas under tornado warnings overnight.
We're checking out the damage and the other danger that remains this morning.
We do have team coverage. Our Matt Kirkwood is in Lawton, one of the hardest hit areas.
We'll get to him in a moment. We're going to start with Terry, though, tracking what's happening right now. Terry.
The good news is the widespread showers and storms have now pressed well off to the east. They've raced out of the lower peninsula. And as we continue to monitor conditions, the big story today, weather-wise for today and tomorrow, will be some cooler air settling in. In fact, almost a fall-feeling air mass with such a dramatic changeover. That's why we did have the widespread severe weather last night into the early morning hours. We're in the low to mid-60s outside right now with a northwesterly wind. We're going to keep a lid on those temps all day today. We'll call it considerably cloudy this morning. I do think the clouds will give way to at least some pockets of sunshine here and there later this afternoon. But with that northwesterly wind, we're going to have hazardous conditions up and down the Lake Michigan shoreline with a small craft advisory in effect and a beach hazard statement in effect as well. Here is a look at the day planner. Readings again feeling like fall with that northwesterly wind and temperatures only in the low to mid-60s. Meteorologist Matt Kirkwood traveling to Van Buren County this morning to see some pretty significant storm damage. Matt.
Yeah, Terry, right now, my photographer and myself are in search of that damage, and it brought us to the Lawton area. We're on the Main Street and 5th Avenue right now, and you'll be able to see behind me a really lucky house. Old maple right here, you can see completely toppled over about 15 feet in the air. He did a little bit of wood rot as well, so it wasn't totally completely strong tree. But if you look over my left shoulder and up, that is a evergreen tree that about halfway up, the winds took the kind of sheared off that tree as well. So we venture over here, and you can see some power lines down, some cable lines down as well. I searched this area to make sure it's all right so I could walk safely. And if, Nick, you can follow me, I'll show you how localized this damage is, because if you look down Main Street both ways, and it is not covered with any damage. So this is kind of localized, and that's kind of what I am finding as searching through the Paw Paw, Matawan area, and also Lawton. So the damage, yeah, it's not, it's kind of localized, but look at all the rest of the reports throughout the region. This is actually one of the bigger severe weather events that we had since last August, and you can see those storms regionally developing in Iowa, then just rolling right eastward through Illinois and eventually into Michigan as well. Now, coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll talk about not storm damage, but some much-needed rain that we received out of these storms and a lot of others over the weekend. Speaking of that, Tom, we got to be a little cautious, especially on secondary roads around I-94 area. What do you have on those roads?